sounds like to groom Katie. Birds? You don't see the birds? So this is how I like to groom Katie. As you can see, she has a lot of hair and it's getting longer and longer. And these are not tangles or mats, but I call them little cords that you want to break up before they turn into tangles. See? So I'll show you how we do that. So I put her in my lap, I let her get comfortable, and then I'm going to go after these cords. The first thing I do is brush her with this brush by Evolution. It has the little thing where you can push the hair out because that breaks up the little cords. And then I'm going to go through all over with the wide tooth comb. This is a comb by Andis. And the wide tooth comb is a little bit more breaking up the cords than the brush, and then this fine tooth comb. And by the time you get to the fine tooth comb, she's going to be so fluffy. So if you look at the difference between the corded hair here and the fluffy hair here, that's what you're seeing. So I'm just going to finish that and show you the difference. You know, I'm not hurting her. She's not happy to be confined. She'd rather be doing something else, but she's not running from me. She's not going to be scared of me, or after this is over, she's not going to be traumatized. So, yeah, I trust her little word. Not word, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, the cords are not bad. I think I can't get her comfortable while I'm sitting in this position, so I'm gonna have to see how much hair. It's just a little bit coming out. The other thing I use is this. It's like a rake by Oster. They're called a Coat King, and they work for hard-coated dogs. If you don't want to strip, this does a mild stripping with an even kind of pressure, so she doesn't mind it as much. I have stripping tools, but she seems to mind them a lot more. They seem to bother her. She may have sensitive skin, or maybe stripping is just hard on them in general. It looks pretty rough to me. I think the dogs are beautiful, but I don't want to hurt her. But see how much hair comes out? And supposedly that's going to promote the hard coat, but not to the extent that a real stripping would. And she's had a groomer that specialized in terrier stripping. That service is about $60 an hour. But I took her to that groomer just for a bath to try it out, and she was so traumatized that I could not bring myself to go to that groomer again. And then when I try stripping her, she protests so much. So I have this old stripping knife that I use a little bit. I don't know who this is by, it's old. But when I try it, she doesn't like it much. Even on the back, where it's not as challenging because her skin is smooth and it doesn't fold. In the places where her skin folds, it's gonna hurt because you're not holding it tight and uneven pressure. So I just don't strip her. Look at that little face. Look at that little face. So I want to get her mustache also. The way I know it's time to groom her is, see how her hair over her eyes is going halfway over her eye? That's when I know it's time to trim her hair again. And I'm trying to get her hair long, so I'm not going to cut it all over, but in those places, I do the ear tips, I do the sanitary area, tummy, maybe the toes, and the mustache. Excuse me. But look at the difference in how fluffy she is just from brushing and combing. I mean, she looks so, this hair just looks so pretty. I've never owned a comb before Katie because I've never had a dog with this much hair that had to really be managed. She has a ton of hair. See that she's flinching a little bit from that. She doesn't love it, but she's not gonna mind it as much as if I were doing something else. So I'm gonna try the Coat King in little places all over. And what my groomer trainer told me was that you do a little bit, you do it about, over the course of 3 days, you work over her little body and you're just getting a small percentage of what a professional stripper would get. So you're gonna have a little bit more of a hard coat. So there's little Katie's face, and I'm going to get into that little mustache area. You're going to hold her chin using the wide side of the comb, and just a little bit gentle. She doesn't love it. Maybe I'll brush it first. But even though I think these are not harsh bristles, I still brush away from the skin. Away from the skin to be gentler. And then she said, let my beard go. Then the wider comb is easier to go through. There's a little resistance, so it's not really tangled, but a little cording. And then I take the fine comb, and then she's so fluffy all over. She's so fluffy. And see, I have to still get the edges of her face. This should be round, and when I mustache a little shorter, I want her to have this cute puppy face look. Where right now she has a little old man look. So, let's do the other side. We do the brush, try to do it away from the skin. So I know it's not hurting her, it's even pressure away from the skin. I wouldn't use something on her that I wouldn't use on my own as far as implements. And then, oh, you got the wide comb, gently, the wide side, and the fine side. And there's a fluffy face. There's a fluffy face. There's a fluffy face. So I think I want this to have a more round look. So I'm gonna work on that. I don't know how to do it exactly. But Katie is a little dog reactive. We're working on it. And she just feels the way she feels about other dogs. Oops, that's thick right there. Brush first, away from the skin. Away from the skin. Away from the skin. Then we're gonna do the wide tooth comb and then the fine tooth comb. You could really do this every day, but well, when you can do it every day, because her hair, as soon as she lies down, her hair starts bunching up and doesn't look as fluffy. So, but I only do it about once a week because I don't think, I mean, that's enough to stop the creation of mats. But look at that fluffy face. Look at that fluffy face. The other thing I need to do is address her hair growing over her eyes. Take her little chin, you lift it up. You see where the short hairs would be in her eyes. You go, crunch. You go, crush. You go, crush. You're snipping and pulling. You're not trying to have a straight line. You want to have basically a thinner appearance of the hair. So if you look on this side where I just trimmed and compare it to the other side. Katie Poo. See how this side's a little bit thinner, but I want it a little bit shorter, but I want it choppier. I don't want it to be a hard line because I'm not an expert groomer. I don't trust my hard lines. My hard lines won't be perfect. And it'll be really obvious because her hair is so thick. Wherever I leave a line, it will be very obvious. So I'm gonna get the other side too. And so you wanna be sure the hair doesn't fly into her eyes. So as I snip, I pull it away. Let's see. Let me see the face. Let me see the face. Let me see the face. So I'm gonna just do it until I can see her eyes. And her eyes are looking a lot more, you can see her eyes a lot better. I don't know if I got a good shot before, but she's so cute. He's so cute. But see, grooming doesn't have to be hard. Look how fluffy the legs are. I didn't really finish her feet because she was struggling. I'm gonna go back to the feet now. You see the feet. You see the feet. Let's see the feet. You see the feet. No brush on the feet. No brush on the toes. Because she seems like that bothers her. But then the pulling also is not the best. So if I don't brush first, the wide tooth comb is going to pull a little bit more. But she seems to be less resistant to that. So the wide tooth comb and then the fine tooth comb. Yep, it's good. Yes. So I'm going to get her armpits and her chest off camera. That's where this harness, we have a lupine harness, and this harness rubs because she pulls, and then I'm pulling her, and so the hair is being matted together. So that needs some longer attention. I'm not going to bore you guys with that, but I'm going to let you see the finished product when I'm done. Another aspect of grooming Katie, I'm adding this to our regular grooming, is her teeth. Katie has she has some staining on her teeth, and my groomer recommended this. It's called Tropiclean. It's a gel you just put on your finger, and you put it on the stain spot, and I put it wherever she has any discoloration. And within a week, I saw improvement. When I first got her, her teeth were stained. She was only 10 months old. They were stained worse than my 13-year-old dog's teeth. And this made a huge improvement within a week. So I have fallen off the wagon of doing this regularly. I'm adding this to her grooming kit so that I do this every time I take out her comb or brush. I'm gonna add this to it. But I just think she looks so pretty and fluffy when she's combed out. Look at her hair. I love it. Look how fluffy. Look how fluffy. Look at this hair. And it's not even at the longest. It's not even at the longest. So let's get the teeth going, Katie Poo. She's not gonna love it, but I think she'll tolerate it. Put this on your teeth, okay? You're gonna put it on the teeth. Let's put it on the teeth. Put it on the teeth. Put it on the teeth. I'm gonna get better at this. She doesn't love it, but she doesn't mind that badly. I'm gonna get better at it. I'm gonna be more comprehensive. I'm gonna go all through her mouth, but I just want her to get accustomed to it first. I'm not gonna just overwhelm her the first time. It's been a while since I've used it. So there we go. Highly recommend taking care of the teeth. The reason I started using that was because the lady who taught me how to groom Katie, she has an 18-year-old poodle with the most adorable little face. And I'm like, why is your 18-year-old poodle so much cuter than most 18-year-old poodles that I've seen? And it was because of the fullness of her little cheeks, and it's because her teeth are not gone. You know, older dogs sometimes have a rat-faced appearance, and it's because their teeth are rotted out. So if we want our dogs to live a long time, and I don't want to take a senior dog and put them through the anesthesia of a professional cleaning, and that was a real concern with my older Westie. I mean, I loved him so much. I didn't want to see him be knocked out. I didn't want to expose him to those drugs for anything. So it was a real struggle deciding between his health risk of the teeth or the health risk of the anesthesia. So Tropiclean takes away that concern. It's awesome, and I'm really happy with the results that I have received, and my groomer recommends it, and her dog looks amazing. If I can ever get a picture of her dog's face, I will add it in somewhere. Anyway, that's our grooming for today.